モアです。中にゲールがいる。要注意です。シュート打ったー。2点目ジャマイカ。ジャマイカ2対0リード。またしてもウィットモアにやられました。選手の交代を指示した岡田監督。
やっと2点が入って交代っていうね、そういう表情でしたね。
Reggae Boyz 2026 World Cup. Road to glory or heartbreak? God, we can't take a next heartbreak, you know. So, give us strength, oh Jah, to carry on. Oh, our Lord. I'd better make hay while the sun shines. This is a well-known quote written by Xander Berkeley, as it speaks directly to the going concern where the Jamaica men's national team dream of World Cup 2026 speaks. I understand that it is still early days, but make hay while the sun shines. People, greetings and welcome to another episode on Premier 7. I am your host, Ryan Nelson. Today is a beautiful day, and I hope that it will continue as we, Jamaican fans, Reggae Boyz fans, would love to smile when we see all the teams listed for World Cup 2026. I want to let you know that today's topic of importance is Reggae Boyz 2026 World Cup, Road to Glory or Heartbreak. I'm not negative and I am not positive because my emotions, my analysis is swinging here and there. From this video, I will talk about the reasons to be concerned, the reason for optimism, and the strategies to boost qualification chances. From this, I just want to say massive respect to the fan base for supporting the channel. A couple of days ago, I have done a video surrounding can Jamaica build a CONCACAF dynasty? Here's all. I'm somewhat disappointed though with the views. 566, 48 likes, and around 17 comments. Well, I have to give thanks, but from this video that I am covering, I am hoping then that it receive at least 1,000 views because it is very much concerning. In that case, people, if you are new to Premier 7, please go ahead and subscribe. And if you are already a subscriber, then you know what to do. Like, comment, share the content so others can be engaged. Reasons to be concerned. Are you concerned about Jamaica's dream? We can understand that not all dreams will be a reality. And I don't want to be living in dreamland. I want to live in the real world, seeing Jamaica making it to the World Cup of 2026. Now, I have several reasons to be concerned. One of them would be managerial instability. If we can rally back to the departure of Coach Hermal Grimson, who left to coach Ireland, it somewhat disrupts the team's momentum, and it really and truly raised concern as to what our commitment and direction was about. We did not really know what took place behind the scenes, even though we could understand that there were some situations surrounding players to be playing and questions about tactics. But he did something. He helped us to have an established backline or to improve our backline, but we had some issues on the other areas of the game. But managerial instability was or still is a reason of concern because some of us do not believe in Coach McLaren, but let's be patient and let's see what can happen. One of the other things is that of inconsistent performances. Even though we have a good chance to make it so far, we are concerned because despite our victories in the qualification games, we won some games very narrow. A 1-0 victory against Dominica Republic and a 3-2 struggle against Dominica highlights issues in cohesion and finishing. We have an issue surrounding our midfield. We need to finalize or somewhat finalize who will be playing that qualification games. Also, we have a concern with the frontline strikers, or let's say the wingers. We are somewhat not fully established, which is obvious. So, we are trying our best as fans to trust the process, and we're not here to point fingers on anyone because if I should point fingers on JFF only, it would be somewhat biased because our coach is an issue to look on as well, or needs to be better in terms of tactics, and the players need to perform. But rallying back to those games, we did not have our best of our best players. You know, Bailey was absent from the qualification games that was being discussed. I think Pinnock was here and there as well. So players like Dixon, Anderson, Nicholson, Bernard, Cephas, they were given a go, and even other players, but our team wasn't the best. And the forward-thinking look that we want to have is to recruit some of those Jamaican descent players who lives in England to at least come and boost our squad. Another issue is our infrastructure challenges. Concern about our national stadium pitch conditions. We saw that when Messi was playing here, when Cavaliers played against Inter Miami. Those things are issues that needs to be adjusted, but let's be real, it is not easy to sort it out, but there's a possibility. So these things potentially affect our home game advantage and player performances. Remember, we want to get players from overseas to come and boost our squad. We have players who plays in the local league in the squad and also those who plays overseas in the Premier League, etc. The surfaces are way better overseas than local. And if you expect that the game would be playing like this based on what you're used to, and when you're playing the game it is different, then it is somewhat of a disadvantage. So we have to make the field then become more adjustable to suit our style of play or our players. Not to say that our players cannot do better, but the comfort has to be in support. We need to have better stadiums, and I don't do finance, so I don't know how much money is there, but I know that there's a growing concern that was being somewhat sorted out where FIFA gave JFF that privilege. So, I mean, we need to start out the pitches and other infrastructural based stuffs. Another one is that there are strong regional competitions. So teams like Honduras, Costa Rica, Costa Rica, they have their days, but they have been active World Cup teams. Even Panama have shown significant improvements, making CONCACAF qualifications more competitive than ever. Our group is different though, but I mean, we want to do our best to make sure that we can make it to the World Cup. Our group is in consideration because even though we're going to play against British Virgin Island, who is fifth currently in the group E that is, and we're second behind Guatemala, this group should be an easy group by way of our own talk. But the region is getting more competitive, and we never can tell what the second half of the qualification stage will bring. So we don't want to focus or rely on hopes and if or maybes. We want to be in that mindset to say we are going to make it. But the process is not slow as what I was told yesterday, but some of the documentations needs to be sorted out more effectively. It is not that easy. And hats off to all those persons who are trying to make Jamaica better in terms of recruiting players. But as fans, we want to be on the receiving end of getting in some of the key players. All right. Reasons for optimism. It's still early days. As I've mentioned from the initial stage, we have experienced leadership in our camp. And Coach Steve McLaren, he is that man who is at the helm of the national team. Remember, before he even received that coach role, he had that connection with Jamaica. And it's a blessing because he will bring his experience. And I think, if I'm not wrong, our team is improving. I was talking in a group, whereas, someone was saying to me, go and revisit one or two of the games that McLaren has coached the national team, and you will see the differences. Sometimes you have to look back and see the small growth, because the small things will make things better or worse. You build things upon something, right? So if you have one foundation, you have blocks that you want to build a higher foundation, then the foundation has to be better. To two-story, you would have to have a one-story. And that is what I'm talking about in that case as an example. So, I mean, he has people working with him as well. Mr. Simpson, who works alongside Mr. McLaren. That is a boost. I mean, the national team is growing, but we have to just look more into things. And that is what can be somewhat of a negative, but it is an optimistic thing, right? Because we are improving slightly. And we have talented players in the squad. Michael Antonio, Leon Bailey, of course, and hopefully the possibility of getting in a Mason Greenwood and Louis Baker. Getting back players who was there before, like a John Russell. We as fan base, we talk about him a lot. If it is based on performance, he's performing for Barnsley, so that should be a case of getting him in. We need improvements. I always speak about Dujon Sterling. Think he's currently injured, which is a problem. But he was called, but because of such, he was not available. But the Unity Cup, I think, should be one of those competitions that can give us a chance to see what it is like to play against different opposition. Ghana, Nigeria, even though Nigeria will not have some of their big names like the Osimhen that I have seen based on recent news, but it is a different environment to play some football in Brentford in England. So I think that is the point that we can then decide if Jamaica is really going forward. That is the point that we can see, well, we're in Brentford, England. This is where we can get in some players to come on board. Maybe not in that Unity Cup, but to get the movements even better because we're in England. All right. So we have a favorable qualification structure because the expansion of World Cup team is something that more so will happen, right? 48 teams and the allocation of more spots to CONCACAF increase Jamaica chances of qualifying. But let's just see if we still can qualify. Because even though it is 48 teams now in the World Cup, will Jamaica make it? Will Jamaica make it? Because if you look on the FIFA World Cup site, it states that the 2026 edition, the World Cup will have its first included 48 countries as an increase from 32. So we should be more happy that we have a better chance, but not to be complacent. And for me personally, I did not want to see 48 teams. Sometimes some things doesn't need to be changed. And when certain things are changed, it dilutes the sting, the importance, the excitement. So it's the first time. Let's see what will happen. But Jamaica have a better chance now, seeing that 48 teams will be in the World Cup. But will it last? Well, make hay while the sun shines. So a strategic recruitment, efforts to tap into the English-based talent pools, and identify players. We have that massive selection of players to choose, but as was discussed yesterday, it is not that easy because some of these players' documentations are very much hard to get, So, talking about it by way of word of mouth, just imagine how difficult it is compared to getting those documentation started. But hopefully, things will be done. Hopefully, all of those things will be generated as fast as possible so we can have our team more so in a better direction for World Cup qualifiers into 2026, because a lot of persons would say then it is the easiest World Cup for Jamaica to qualify, but for me, maybe it is, because look at our Group E, the Dominica Republic, Dominica, Guatemala, British Virgin Islands. We have a chance. We have a big chance. Our name is the biggest name right there, so we should make it to the World Cup. But let's see the strategies that we can use to qualify. So we need to balance our squad selection, and that is coming from the fact that we're trying to get in some players. If we get them, I hate the word if and maybe, but we should get them just to say in our at least a few. If it is 10 players we're trying to get and we get 5, that's brilliant. So having these players integrated would be crucial because the experience and the skill set would improve our team. It's a crucial blend, to have them with our local players to, of course, some earlier out, familiarize themselves with our regional conditions. But we don't want to be over reliant though on the overseas players to adapt. But having a mixture of some of them or them with who we currently have in our team will be a benefit, because some will understand the England condition, some will understand the local condition. That is based on the mixture of current players and local players and England recruited players. So we have to get that sorted out and have a balance. Infrastructure investment, we need upgrade in terms of our facilities and stadium that can enhance our players' performance and fan support. So we need to expand our stadium, improve our grounds, but we need money. The government commitment to sports development includes investment in community level facilities, and it is a positive step going forward. So the government is looking into things, and yes, this is what we need to do. So even if not all of our fields or grounds are improved, our national stadium is our A place, so it needs to be of high priority. We cannot afford to see our players performing or want for them to perform and they're not comfortable. Comfortable is an incentive for our players to improve in terms of performances. And to I don't want to say a lesser scale, but for a futuristic scale, youth development programs is important. So establish robust youth academy and grassroots programs to ensure a steady pipeline of talents for the national team is established. Remember, to me, the JPL isn't on that level of schoolboy football. Not to say in terms of quality of players, but in terms of the system, in terms of support, finance, that is sponsorship, fan base. If JPL is not above that, it is above schoolboy football based on levels, but in terms of support, we're seeing that schoolboy football is better. Is it because of politics? Not a politician, but that could be a trigger that is restricting our performances or our development or our channel from youth to senior. So we need to get ourselves started out in that case. Also, we need a consistent coaching philosophy. We have a system, as what I was told again from the group that I was talking in. We have a system, but it is effective, so we're relying on players to come in. But if we have a system with a style of play that we have, then maintaining a stable coaching staff and clear tactical approach will foster team cohesion and understanding. So if we have a lot of players to select from a pool, if our system is fully established, then we know that, all right, even though this player may be good enough for other teams, he's not good enough for our system, because our system is what will get our best players to perform. Even if it is not our best players, an established system where players understand what their roles are will get the best out of our performances. So we will not say if we're going to make it or if we're going to perform or maybe we'll qualify, maybe we will continue this performance statics. Those things will be erased. let it be a case that we would say, we have a good chance, or we're going to make it because we have XYZ in the squad, because our system is proving itself, JFF is supporting more, players are coming in, things like those will give us that belief and confidence. Fan engagement and support. Build a strong connections with fans through community events, social media, like myself who is doing here on YouTube, Premier 7, of course. And transparent communication can boost morale and create a formidable home advantage. Jamaica fan base is very supportive. Just put it at that. But we are not the ones who will keep on supporting when we're not communicated with properly, even though some things has to be kept as a secret or behind the scenes to prevent spill of information to be spilled as well. We need to know what is taking place, or we have to be communicated to better. We need something to work from. Maybe the Mason Greenwood example may be too sensitive, but we need something to work from. For example, Dujon Sterling has recovered from injury. He will be called to play for Jamaica. The paper has shown that. All right? Now, that is something that the fan base can work with. So even if we're not hearing about the paperwork of some players, which I think should still remain undisclosed, but we can hear about players like Dujon Sterling being recovered. He's injured now, but when he recovered, even the fact that we called him before, it proves to us then that we have an understanding that we want a Dujon Sterling, and because he has recovered, in quotation, he will be called. That will be a massive boost for the fan base. So people, what is your thought though about this video? Reggae Boyz 2026 World Cup, Road to Glory, or Heartbreak? I mean, while challenges exist, the combination of experience, leadership, and talented player pool and strategic positions can help us to make it as a strong contenders to the World Cup. Remember, it is 48 teams, so we have a massive chance to make it now because it is an expansion. But we have to continue to improve our infrastructure, add some more speed, be more strategic, and then we will have a great chance to go to World Cup 2026. So, if you're passionate about the Reggae Boyz team and the journey to World Cup, please smash a like on this video. Please subscribe, share the content, because at least 1,000 views would be a good start. I need for this channel to grow, and because of you, the fan base who is continuing supporting, I am giving you what is necessary for our progress. So people, it is my time to go, and it is my belief that we have a better chance now, having seen that 48 teams will be the first time in the World Cup. So Jamaica, do not blow the opportunity. So people, take care, goodbye, until we meet again.